welcome to What's New Today. My name is Eddie.
My name is Dabi.
So today we are in town. Yeah, we are out of the studio and we are just in town. Yeah. Anyway, so early this week, I think that was Monday. Yeah, the Oscars. We saw a video of Will Smith.
2022 Oscars.
The 2022 Oscars. Will Smith gave a dirty slap to Chris Rock, and apparently it became news. I mean, it was all over the place, the whole world, everywhere. Everybody was talking about
viral.
it, and we also decided to talk about it. So we're gonna share what we think about the issue, whether Will was right, whether Chris was right, whether Will was wrong, and what I mean. We're just gonna share our opinion and see how this whole thing affected the Oscars, and I mean what is likely to come out of it. So Lukman, what do you think about this whole thing? You saw the video here.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, as usual, is a comedian. He makes jokes for a living.
That's what he does best.
And that is his gift, his talent. And on that night, Chris made a joke that is considered to be offensive. Probably depends on where you are looking at it, but then apparently Will took it as something offensive. In the beginning, we also
took it personal.
We also saw how Will was equally laughing at the joke. Even Jada was also laughing.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, something just clicked, and I mean, she just changed her mood. And Will saw that, hey, I'm making a mistake.
She actually rolled her eyes like,
yeah, I need to react. And Will just got up from his seat. Chris didn't know what he was going to do, and he gave him a slap. I must say, Chris reacted well. You know, he even continued the joke, and he made it, light. People didn't really, feel the intensity until it came out. I think on that night, people didn't really feel it like the way, after like.
Oh, it did. It was a shock, you know. The thing, and if you could see the sequence of shocks, even with the Lupita that was behind Jada at the time.
Yeah. Because
nobody expected that to happen. Let's not forget, there's a school of thought that believes that this was all planned and it was meant to play out to, fulfill a certain agenda.
Do you believe in that school of thought that this could be a stage something?
We'll come to that.
Okay.
We'll come to that.
Okay.
But let's look at the issue as is on the surface. So when Will stood up, I could bet nobody in the audience at the time, even amongst imagined that it was going to be like a physical altercation. We thought perhaps Will was going to give a comeback, because that's what comedians do.
Sure.
Sometimes they crack a joke and somebody just walks up, another comedian. It happens over and over again. So I'm sure that's what people thought was going to happen, that Will was going to give a comeback.
Sure.
And one of these, Oscar, one of these celebrated things. And then he took a certain, in my own opinion, a James Bond pose, and then he gave him a slap. Because to me, that's a James Bond pose. If you watch a James Bond at the beginning, that's yeah. Anyway, and then it sounded a slap. Yes, a lot of people would have thought, why didn't Chris return it? And that's another topic for another day. Is it because he was a gentleman? Is it because he admitted he was wrong? Or is it because he's a wimp? Or is it because it is part of the role he had to play? Those are different conversations for later. But as we saw, he received it and cracked a joke about it. And even when Will went to go sit down, he was trying to explain to Will that it's a J.I. Jane joke. It's not about it. Will insisted, get my wife's name out of your mouth. At the time, Will was shouting. I think that was when people realized that, whoa, it's serious. I'm sure even after the slap, people just thought it was, a joke. Until he yelled twice, in anger that, and that was when people realized that.
And you could see it in Lupita's face.
She was shocked.
She was looking at Will. It's like, what?
Yeah,
are you serious?
Yeah.
Man, this is a joke.
And,
that kind of thing.
But my fear, and genuinely my fear, is that over Will Smith's career, which is an outstanding career, I believe if Will Smith was a white man, by now he would have won at least 3 or 4 Oscars. But another conversation for another time. And this being his first time winning an Oscar for such a great role of such a wonderful person. That's another thing, the black community. There are certain people we really do not celebrate because of, I don't know, whether it is us or even the society. And I'll call him, for the sake of the movie, King Richard himself is a fantastic person, because having the vision at that time to put black girls in lawn tennis, at that time, even till now, tennis is still like a white people's thing, and having so much devotion, having so much passion, and having so much belief that his girls are one day going to be world champions, and pushing them to that limit is the height of human inspiration. And if not for this incident, that would have been celebrated. Will himself would have been celebrated, like I said, if not, in my own opinion, if not that he was a black man. I think by now Will should be doing his third, if not fourth, Oscars. But it is what it is. And now, unfortunately, we are looking at the Oscar, if possible, being taken from him facing charges. As for the charges, it's normal. Stars go through assault, battery, whatever, with what they call them, paparazzis and whatnot. So him being fined or whatever is not really the issue. But the slur, the dent on his image, the way his career would have, the trajectory would have moved from there, the kind of honor, the kind of, beauty, the kind of respect he would have gained from this event has all been murdered. It has all been spoiled. It's basically
that is
thrown
true.
to the dust.
I think
that is my worry.
At the end of the day, it took the beauty of the Oscars away. It became a topic of the town. Everybody was talking about it, forgetting that was the first time Will is winning the award, forgetting that even Samuel L. Jackson too, that was the first time he was also winning an award from the Oscars. And this slap took everything, shattered everything. It just covered everything. It's like the award didn't even happen. And that is what, for me, makes this whole thing a sad, how do you call it, incident. I believe Will could have probably exercised a bit of self-control. He could have controlled himself, but then in the nick of time, he couldn't make that split decision, and he reacted. That is not to say that he's justified, okay, but because wrong is wrong. For you to respond the way he did, that was physical. It was a joke. No matter how sensitive it is, I don't think physical assault or battery was the way forward for him to do.
So you believe there are other ways he could have defended his wife's honor rather than going out to.
If Will sat there and even shouted, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth," that would have been even a bit better than the physical assault. Okay, at least that wouldn't be. Fine. That would also be cool. But then
we know comedians. If he does that, he only give Chris a comeback to say something else.
We know, but then the thing is, at the end of the day, you don't know how it's gonna end up. Look at how it ended up. Look at how this whole thing has muddied this whole beautiful event.
Because if I'm looking at what you are saying, the alternate conflict resolution would have been, to have perhaps a press conference or even a talk or a video, in the public domain, not even personal. That jokes like this are sensitive, and just like this, that kind of conversation.
No, but it's even something he could have just come to his Twitter and tweeted about it.
Yes, something
he could have done it that way
rather than talking back. Because like I said, in occasions like that, where the comedian has their mic, it's very difficult for you to have the last word, especially when you have somebody as witty and as talented as Chris Rock. He's always going to have a comeback. So.
Yeah, but then the other question for me is, when do we draw the line? Okay, where do we say this is an expensive joke? Don't go there, or this person, don't go there? Is it when it has to do with health issues? Is it when it has to do with certain people, certain political figures? Or come on, even Trump has been joked about 1,000 times. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you spoke about Trump. You see, when we're talking about comedy, normally we are not supposed to cross, like you said, certain lines. But people actually put themselves out there for ridicule, because in the first place they cross those lines, and that's where someone like Trump comes in. Trump doesn't mind insulting, like a lame person or So if somebody like that is ready, I mean, when it comes to comedy, you bring yourself out, you should be ready to be slashed. However, it is believed that with certain people who have maintained a certain level of respect, we should give them that respect. So in my own opinion, comedy, if you are going to make fun of people, you make fun of people who have already put themselves out there in quotes, who are obviously ready for such ridicule. And
but you don't you think that looking at relationship Chris has with the Smiths, okay, isn't it enough for Chris to warrant that that opportunity or that authority to make joke about Will and his wife? Don't you think so? Because these are people who are industry folks, and they're not just industry folks. I think it goes beyond that. Will is also a comedian. Okay, they are friends. Okay, so it's like they come from, certain, how do you call it? Certain place of, certain common background,
common
okay,
home or common family.
Exactly. So I think it was a bit harsh, okay, for me, if you look at it from that angle, okay. And talking about comedy, that makes me also think that maybe what we were discussing earlier could be true, because maybe it goes beyond just a comedy. It may just go beyond the comedy, though you may argue that probably Jada hasn't put herself up for ridicule or something like that, but then it does not necessarily have to be like that. She's a star, and at that moment almost all the people there were stars. People to be celebrated, and the other people Chris is gonna definitely joke about. Okay, comedians joke about the people. They are his peers. Okay, so I think it may go beyond just the sickness. Okay, looking at the reaction, it may go beyond just the sickness. But then you will come to that. The comedy side, okay. If you go to TikTok right now, there are a lot of people who are physically challenged, who are, suffering from one disease or the other, who make fun of their misfortune on TikTok. I've seen some before.
Let's not mix it. If blind people are making fun of blind people, it's okay.
Yeah, I understand. But then what I'm trying to say is,
you cannot.
I understand, but listen. Let me make my point. What I'm trying to say, that the fact that you feel okay with your predicament, and you can even make jokes out of it, then someone who has license to make jokes can equally, take a small bite, and we shouldn't hold him.
You really don't seem to get the concept. It's just the same way black people can call each other nigger, but a white person, even though it's still a derogatory word, a white person still doesn't. That's the best way I can explain.
The white person doesn't warranty that.
No matter what, even if you are born, even if your brother is your biological brother is a black man,
you can't call him nigger.
Exactly. It's so simple. If you are not part of the struggle, you have no right to talk about that struggle. It's as simple as that. So if say a lame person, somebody who physically challenged, who cannot walk, is laughing or making a joke about him not being able to walk, he leaves it. He has earned the right to talk about it. But you with your two legs, you have no right to talk about it. It's simple. So let's not try to do that equation. However, like you were saying, I do agree that both of them, both Chris and Will, are in the same industry, probably are even friends from God knows. They've been on stage together, and Will should be able to take a joke. But it could be more than that. It could be about trauma. It could be perhaps the number of nights Jada has cried in her bed. Will has seen his woman suffer over this, this hair loss, this alopecia thing. It could be that perhaps she's not handling it so well as she has, made it seem in public. And it might be she's going through some, emotional disturbance or anxiety or something of that sort, which Will happen to be a part of. So therefore, when Chris is making that joke, it's kind of triggering, whatever problem they might have had, and making it could be that's what making
but
Smith
probably
like the like the you and I were not there. You understand?
Yeah. But
that could also be the thing.
Could it also be that I mean that night, I mean at that moment, okay, who got the how do you call it? Got something like, okay, I need to defend my wife. Okay, probably they are having their own issues at home. Okay, probably Jada is
but still within I need to defend my wife. Yes, if she's going through that trauma, it still has to defend. It's still a trigger.
I'm coming. They are going through their own challenges that we will have to man up, show that hey, I'm really there for you. Okay, I can be there for you. Okay, so whatever that is happening between us, know that I'm there for you.
You mean
so that was an opportunity for Wo to prove that hey, I'm there for you, and indeed it did happen. So look at all the way Jada was all over him after the incident. Like, hey, honey, looking at the comedy aspect, we were talking about that. As I was saying, doesn't mean that now comedians will have to really sit down, censor some of their jokes. It may not be illness. It may not be illness necessarily. As you said, it may be someone who hasn't put himself or herself out there to be ridiculed. But then, it's comedy. Sometimes they have to improvise. They have to quickly make a joke out of something, okay, or out of whoever is in front of them, okay. And sometimes they don't have time to put their words together or put their thought together to make it pleasant enough to you. You have
to take your time to put. And I think that I said that earlier on.
No, but
there are lines you do not cross.
That also makes
their lines
beautiful.
Their line to do. I mean, when you're being derogatory, it cannot be beautiful. Like I said.
No, but I mean,
no matter how beautiful.
We're not talking about derogatory. I mean, I don't think this is derogatory. What?
Okay, this is not. No, this is not derogatory. No.
Yeah, but then I mean, let's put derogatory.
I'm just talking about
aside.
lines to cross.
Yeah.
The lines you don't cross are derogatory lines. That is to say, number one, when I say, like we used a white man, a black man, why a white man cannot use the nigger word, or why people enjoying a certain privilege cannot make fun of people who do not have that privilege. Those are lines, obvious lines you do not cross. Those are red lines. The rest of them happen to be gray areas. And that's what I mean by derogatory.
Do you think we'll have to go through some therapy?
I believe Chris rather has to go through therapy.
Yeah, Chris. Sorry, Will
needs counseling.
Yeah,
anger management, behavioral. Yeah, Will needs counseling. But I'm sure Chris will have to go through therapy, because if he's not a strong person, he may not be able to express himself.
Exactly, and that is my fear. Because I don't know when
do comedy the way he does. Because Chris really talks shit sometimes,
Yeah, he talks shit, and it's like something. I mean, I think we've come to accept that is the kind of comedy he does. Okay, so we are cool with it. Even if we are offended, we just have to probably maybe either go on social media or go to him and express our whatever up there, but not to put it into physical. So yeah. So I think moving on. It's gonna either, if Chris doesn't see a therapy or something, it's gonna have a toll on his career. Probably he'll say, okay, so now how do I present this joke? How do I joke about this kind of person or that kind of thing?
But looking at Chris for a while, Chris has slowed down on comedy for a while. He's been doing directing, he's been doing documentaries, he's been giving back to the comedy.
Yeah, that's why when he gets opportunity, he has to make sure he gives his master stroke. And that is what has also landed him in this trouble. So it's somewhere. But honestly, I think some people are really against. Some people are speaking against Will for what he did, and some people even think that he has to be prosecuted. I mean, they shouldn't just allow him to go scot-free. Some believe that the academy have to take their award. Okay, some believe that even the apology is not even enough. I mean, there are a whole lot of school. There are a whole lot of
one thing for certain is states will prosecute. As to how far they would go, I do not know. States will prosecute. Another thing for certain is,
and do you think states will prosecute? Because on that night, what happened? There was no police. There was nothing. There was nothing like.
It doesn't matter.
I mean,
a crime is a crime, whether the police is present or not. A crime is a crime.
So you believe maybe afterwards they will do that?
I think that's.
They have to do that. Which one?
I believe they will do that.
They will do that.
I believe they will do. It's not if they have to. if you want to look at if they have to, that will be talking about whether we condone violence or whatnot, and that's another conversation for another day. Because if we are going straight to talk about they have to do that in order not to condone violence, then we'll not be fair to Smith, because up until this time, Will has been somebody who has been against violence, talking about peace, and and like I said, up until this time. So if we are going to teach Will a lesson, I believe this would be too severe a lesson. I believe somebody will he needs to be suffer or whatever.
It comes to what they said Denzel told Will. Apparently Denzel went to Will and advised him, or consoled him, and told him that this is where the devil will tempt you the most, at the highest peak of your career. Yeah. So I don't know whether Chris was the devil or he was the medium the devil used. But in any case, it does make sense anyway. I mean, we at the height of your career, you have to be very, very careful, because any little thing that you don't respond well can bring you down, or can tarnish a whole image you have taken lots of years to build. So I think it does make sense. I believe by now Will has learned his lessons, as to how to move on, the people he has offended, how he's gonna I don't know, maybe he has to allow time to play its part, and maybe everything will be okay. Or
yeah. So
until then, the Oscars are gonna continue. The Oscar awards are gonna continue.
But then this has made the Oscars very popular, so I'm sure people will start watching the Oscar sports.
Yeah, I just say, how do you call it? Negative publicity is
still publicity.
Call it, as good as good publicity, and it is what it is. As they say. Though I don't believe it is what it is. But then it's happened, and they have to ride on it. The Academy will have to ride on it, and probably because a lot of people are also watching the Academy the Oscars like the way they used to. And personally, if it wasn't for this slap,
it's the Academy.
I would have known that the Oscars even went on this. Honestly, I'm not alone in this. Seriously, I'm not alone. It's really highlighted the whole thing.
Even the prestige the Academy used to have, the prestige the Oscars used to have, it still has that prestige, but it's not like it used to be in those days. Even these days, I think the Golden Globe has even become more popular than the Oscars, and I think maybe they had to do something, and this is something they had to do something, and this is something. But anyway, let's know what you think. This is what's new today. Remember to subscribe, like, and share with your friends, and do not enjoy this video alone. And whatever you think about, please comment in the portion below.
So a message to Will. If you are watching this video, if you get to watch this video, we are just we are just from Africa, Ghana, your hometown. And we just want to tell you that, well, it's happened. Okay, you have to move on, as they say. You have to dust yourself up and move on. Damage has been caused. We don't know how you're gonna repair it, but then we just hope and pray that it doesn't escalate to where probably we wouldn't want it to go. So, Charlie, Chris, sorry, but
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Okay, so catch you same time. Oh, what did I say? Okay, so we are out of here.
We're out of here.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this episode of our
What's New Today.
What's New Today. Yeah, we are out and about in town.